And we are live. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to PvP Workshop number 8. It is I, Kargoz. I'm joined by the homies Takanashi and Sorrana. How y'all doing today?
We're good. We're good.
Yo, we're good. We're good.
That's good. Good to hear, guys. It's another glorious day. It's colder than a witch's titty here in San Francisco, but I'm hanging in there. How you guys all doing? Happy New Year. Again, it's still early in the year. We are now living in the year of Classic. Can you guys believe it, dude? In a few short months, man, we will be playing Classic WoW official. That is, if Blizzard can hang in there with all the drama and stuff going on. So let's just chill for a little bit, let it fill a little bit more. How you been doing, Sorrana? What's been up with you? What's been going on with you?
Last days were stressful. It's DMF week on Northdale, so everyone tries to get the Darkmoon Fair buff, and everyone wants to purge it from you as well. So it's stressful to get all their buffs, man.
Would you just spend like an hour or two just trying to get buffs a second ago?
Yeah, I tried. I mean, it's easy to leech your Oni and CG buff because it's global, but once you get to DMF, you obviously want those 10% extra damage, and you don't always get it. It's like RNG, right? You get from 1 to 10%, everything in between, and then you have to wait 2 hours if you didn't get it, and then you have to avoid all the shamans and priests trying to rape you. So, yeah. So
that sounds like a bad time, man. Feels bad, man. Kargoz, I missed your last week's PvP stream. Will you upload it to YouTube? Yes, Takanashi has been pressing me on that. We're gonna get them all uploaded. We're gonna get them all uploaded real soon. People have been asking left and right. So yeah, you can expect all the. We're on number 8 right now. We've been doing this for 8 weeks. That is crazy. So yeah, all 8 are gonna be uploaded. Big shout out to everybody in the chat real quick. Doc and TBO, another great streamer in the chat. Philip, Egregious, Kogoat, Ben Woodcott, Cox, Sam Witzel, and I got to shout out Robinson for the 400 biddy donation. 400 for the class guides. Top job by you and all involved. Thank you so much, Robinson. I really, really appreciate it, man. So we got a good show for you today. First, let's get an update from Taco, though. Sorry, Taco, how you doing today, man? What's been going on with you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just, happy that we started to record the warrior guides, and I'm filling up my days with that shit, and yeah, I feel like I'm seeing numbers and spreadsheets left and right in my sleep, and I just wake up screaming sweaty in the night.
That's great, man. So we're gonna give them a little taste then. Taka's giving you a little taste of what's to come, just to give you guys a little preview. We're working on something big, something pretty cool, pretty high stakes, and it's going to be a master class. Have you guys seen those master classes where it's like Gordon Ramsay teaching you how to cook, and he's making dumplings in like 5 seconds, and he's like going crazy? Like, this is going to be a master class for warrior, multi-part video series. Taka and I have been cranking on it, working on it. So we've been recording the different parts, and that's coming out real soon. Just to give you guys a little teaser there. And who knows, maybe we'll do them for all the classes eventually, but that's been in the progress. He wrote a freaking 42-page warrior, like, manifesto. Freaking, like, his religious text of warriors. 46 pages, engraved on a stone tablet. So we're kind of converting all that great information into a video series. And it's going to be great.
Just the ebook.
Or an ebook, yeah.
Yeah, ebooks coming out. 2019 year of classic.
Exactly. So again, guys, thank you for tuning in today. I know you got a lot of options when it comes to streams. It's a new, fresh Netherwing server drop-in, so everyone's all over the place. But we should have a good show for you. So this is our agenda for today's show. We're going to start off just with classic updates, news, predictions, all that good stuff, just to catch up with you guys, see what you guys think. Then we'll talk about retail PvP versus classic PvP. That's always a hot topic for debate. We'll talk about classic PvP and whether or not it's imbalanced. That's something especially with the retail folks, they're always talking about how classic PvP is broken. So we kind of wanted to address that for a second. Sorrana and Taka had an awesome point to make here about how to cap honor. And correct me if I'm wrong here, Sorrana, but this is mainly pertaining to brackets 1 and 2, right? Because you said it doesn't matter past that or something like that.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. And then we'll move on to common mistakes that you can avoid, and we'll see how far we get. We may not get that far into all of this stuff. But anyway, classic updates and news. Now, there's not a lot to work with here, though, guys. Like, there's not a lot of news that is coming out. The last water cooler update we got was, I guess it was BlizzCon, right? Unless I've missed something. I think BlizzCon was the last time we got some juicy information. But I don't know, just little predictions that, at least from my perspective, I think that right now we're kind of in a lull. You know, the hype for Classic is a little low. We haven't had an update in a while. People are still playing with their Christmas toys and all that. So, you know, I think we'll get their Nintendo Switch, playing Smash Bros, all that stuff. But I think we should get a water cooler update or something. I'd say probably by the end of this month. What do you guys think? You think we're gonna get some kind of update?
Yeah, Sorrana,
it would be really nice to get. It's about time, right? Something like there's a family and friends alpha going, something like that. Some progress would be nice.
What are you dying to know the most? Is there, out of all the information you could know, if Blizzard could, you know, reveal to you like 2-3 pieces of information, what are you guys dying to know in the chat as well? I'm curious, but
release date of Honor System.
Of Honor System, okay, like a true PvPer, trying to know how much time you have to work with to get that pre-BG bis. Yeah, Honor System. How about you, Taka?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I try to kind of set my life up and just plan shit and stuff like that. So I guess I'm kind of you know, fucked up like that, but I really like to have dates and just an estimate of when things are going down. And yeah, I'm really with Sorrana. You know, I guess it's this Swedish German thing. You need dates.
We need dates. They got the German and Swedish efficiency. They got to plan all their days. I live day to day. I live minute to minute, man. I don't even know what foot I'm going to put in front of the next. Now, Frosty Baby 7 just subbed with a Twitch Prime sub. Thank you very much, dude. I really appreciate it, Frosty Baby. Thank you, man. So, you're talking about that. So just to recap for you guys, if you've been living under a rock or whatever, Classic WoW, at least from what we know now, is not going to launch with the Honor System. So that is unlike any private server, right? All the private servers that have come out have had the Honor System day one. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's how it's been. So this is going to be like a new thing. Honor's not going to come out for a little while. So I guess it's going to de-incentivize people from ganking each other out in Stranglethorn. And you're going to have a little time to chill and prepare for when, you know, the Honor System launches. So that's what he's talking about there. Me personally, what I'm really hyped for is I really want to know the server populations, man. I'm dying to know the server populations. I would really, really love to know that information. That would be the #1 thing for me. I'm hoping we're on the low end of on the spectrum. I'm hoping we're at like 3,500 to like maybe 5K would be the top, but I would really hope for low servers and then for them to merge them eventually. But what do you guys think, man? Hopefully for a few larger servers. I mean, I think, was that you, Sorrana, that was saying that you want the mega servers, like the super populated PvP, or was that maybe OG? I'm trying to remember. Or no, it was Talasava who said that, right?
Tails was.
Tails.
Yeah, it was Tails, I think, yeah. But I like them as well. I mean, somewhere around 7-8K in that region is really nice. I mean, on private servers you have those you have the Asian population and you have the NA and the European, so it's always crowded. I don't know what happens if they separate it by NA and EU, for example. So,
but wait, with the larger servers though, right? If there was larger servers, like let's say it was 10K on a server, which would be kind of more in line with what private servers are, that would make it harder to rank, right?
Not entirely. I mean, the brackets are also larger if you have more population doing PvP. So it's basically the same. You have more spots, so you have more people with more progress, and if you have less people in a PvP system, you have less bracket 1 spots. So I think a larger population is even better, or like easier to rank.
You think it's easier to rank?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, if you have still the same hardcore guys going for the bracket 1, no matter if there's a low population or a high population, and you will have those high caps, and it's easier to get them with more population, I think.
But wouldn't there be more of a shot of having multiple groups that are badass motherfuckers going for that rank, you know, really trying hard without larger pop? Because isn't that the issue with private servers? It's like the honor caps are like 2 million and stuff like that because there's so many people.
Yeah, but that was because of the China war. Those high caps you didn't have them because you fight against NA or EU people. It's because China tried to get those bracket spots to sell the characters they rank up.
Oh.
And because China can also they lose all the day, okay? And the only way they did those high caps was by account sharing. So they had this running on one computer, and then just the people in front of the computer rotate. They don't log on from different computers, so they cannot be detected of account sharing. So they just use it from one computer.
And they have the time zone difference too, right? So what would you say? Do you think time zone and account sharing makes it harder than higher pop? Is that a factor that's going to make it harder more so than having a higher pop?
I don't really think that time zones matter at all. When you rank, you have no time or feel for time or day.
The only thing,
anyway,
the only thing with time zones is that it can benefit some people. Like on Nostarius, you had for Europeans, let's say, when Europeans played, you had Americans as well as Asian community online at the same time, which gave you insane lags and just horrible gaming experience. So pretty much when the Europeans stopped playing, the Chinese were also not playing that much, which gave the North Americans this huge farming, window of maybe 6 or 7 hours. They could just go, like Talasavo said, he just fucking stayed in bed with his laptop watching documentaries, for like 6 hours.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's probably the only thing that I can feel could be a disadvantage if, there's different time zones. Yeah.
So do you predict, but if there is time zones, right? Let's say if there is time zones, people, do you think, first of all, do you think people are going to stick to those time zones? Is it advantageous to go into another time zone server, or will people, you think, for the most part, if all the regions are covered, they're going to stick to their time zones? I would hope so. And if that's
I would think they stick, yeah.
Yeah. And what do you think that's going to do with the time zones? I feel like it's going to make your quality of life better if like 90% of the population on the server is from that time zone. What do you guys think?
Debatable. In my personal opinion, I think most people will stick to it because of the ping and the MS they have. Because many NA players, for example, or even the Asians are complaining about the high ping they have to the EU servers, private servers right now. So I think that's the number one reason why they will stick to their servers.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, and I think
if you play a wall ping is great.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think those time zones are it's not a bad thing if ping doesn't matter. If you let the ping thing out of the discussion, then I think China is important for the economy, right? So if China farms 24/7, you have cheap stuff to buy. Otherwise, it will be overpriced because people farm it less. And
so you're telling me that the Chinese gold farmers and sellers actually help reduce the prices?
Yeah, of course.
If you're one of those guys that never farms themselves, you just farm a little bit gold and then you buy all your consumables and stuff. That comes in handy for you at that point, I would say.
Interesting. So actually, with the reduced population and no, account sharing, different time zone people, stuff, we might see an economy that's way more expensive, potentially?
Yeah. So, can you imagine having, 500 people using fish bots, fishing stone scale eels for Flask of Titans?
Right. And
compare that to, maybe 5 people and the rest of them are doing it only for themselves. Can you imagine the prices on the, Flask of Titans and stone scale eels? And it's got to be,
but it's a little bit different, I think. If you have to pay a subscription, even if you're China and you have this gold selling business, maybe if you have to pay a subscription, then you might be more alerted of getting banned. So maybe fish spotting is not the way to go. Because now on private server you just you create a new account, a free new account, right? And then you level to, what is it, 10, 15, and then you can fish oily black mouse, something.
Yeah.
So pretty easy and fast to do. But if you have to pay for it as a company and selling this shit as a China gold selling company, maybe that's the reason why you won't do this spotting stuff, and you have to actually pay people to farm Dynamo East. Maybe.
I see. But I mean, there's less gold floating around, right? With all the I mean, it's kind of two things are being affected, right? So yeah, the supply is going to be a lot lower because there's not 500 people fish spotting. Maybe there's only like 50 people fish spotting, but at the same time, there's less gold in the economy. So I don't know if there are any economists in the chat. Maybe you can share your predictions of what you guys think. You guys might be right though. I'm not really not sure.
I mean, even let's imagine that you have a lower pop. Like back in the day, 2.5k something was max. I can't remember. And if you go to the auction house on a private server, and no matter what you look for, the chances are very high that you will find it for whatever price. But it will be in the auction house, and you have the option to buy it. And if you have those low populations, it might not be even available, and you have to get it yourself. It's economy. Really bad at those things.
Gotcha. So what do you guys predict? Let's say that there's 5k pop. Let's say that you know all the regions are covered, 5k pop. What do you predict based on knowing what you know about the game and your private server experience and stuff? What do you think it's going to be like ranking in official classic WoW? If you could kind of predict it. With, let's say, the honor patch is staggered 3 months out. Let's say the server launch is 3 months out. Just think about what do you think the difficulty is going to be like comparatively to private servers, and anything that comes to mind that might be interesting.
I feel like it's going to be much easier than on a private server. That's my first,
That's good news. It's good news.
Gut feel. Yeah, because I expect people to, like, what you said, play on their time zone and stuff like that. And if it was anything close to retail, then, like we discussed off stream, there's a big chance of people not being able to play, at least in pre-mates or whatever, all 24/7 like they do on private servers, and only that, will reduce the chance of honor farming by maybe half, which will make pre-mates even more efficient. Yeah, I would say, and hopefully I'm right, and we don't have to spend like 20 hours a day to reach rank 14. That'll be beautiful.
Yeah, hopefully not. I mean, so you were saying, Sorrana, when you and Taka were ranking, getting 14. By the way, guys, Sorrana actually got rank 14. Taka got rank 13, like 98%. They ranked like crazy together. Were you when you were doing it? It was 2 mil honor cap. Is that what you were saying before?
A little bit lower, yeah. 1.8, 1.9. Somewhere. It was only that one week when we had the war against China.
And you were playing at like the peak amount of private server players like ever, right? It was during OG Nostalrius, Warlords of Draenor type, year. I wonder if you could predict what do you think the honor cap would be on a 5k pop server to get to rank 14. I mean, it's so subjective, but if you just had to take a wild guess,
That always depends. I mean, with 5k pop, let's say, if we imagine that Taka is right, and with like the time zones and people that sleep, and you can always rank on much efficiency, like on high efficiency. Let's say 500 to 600k maybe. I mean, depends on
less. Yep.
Depends on bonus weekends, of course. If you have Outlook Valley, it will be a little bit lower. And Arathi Basin will be a little bit higher. Warsong is usually very high. Always depends. But I would say somewhere around this. It's just a wild guess, because obviously the bracket leader sets the brackets, and let's say everyone knows by heart, 100% by heart, how this honor system works, then you could agree on 100k. And if everyone gets in line, everyone would be done by 2 days, and everyone is fine.
So if everybody plays ball,
it never works. It never works. There's always someone.
So that seems like good news, guys. I guess one of the overall points I'm making right now is that I think if you guys have played on Northdale, if you guys have played on some of these private servers, dude, it sucks sometimes, man. Like, we're trying to level on them. Like, there's a lot of issues that I don't think will be in Classic. You know, when people are restricted to their time zones, maybe some of the farming spots will actually open up at some point. Right now on the private servers, you have people from every time zone. You know, APAC, US, you know, North America, EU, all logging in at different times, and like everything is super congested. Farm spots like never really get a break. I think during Real Classic it'll be a little bit better. You'll actually be able to farm Goshek farm and shit, and the honor cap will be lower, so it'll potentially be easier to rank. I mean, that's literally a third of what you did, right? So that would require I mean, that would reduce your playtime by 2/3 if I'm interpreting this correctly. If let's say it really is 500k honor cap.
I mean, it was only that 1 week. It wasn't 2 million all the time.
Okay.
But I mean, I think it was between 900 and 1.2 million for at least 4 or 5 weeks. But I mean, I would say if it's gonna cap on 500 or 600k, I mean, holy shit, you can literally be finished in 3 days.
Yeah, but I mean, do you think? It's like if you have lower pop, you have longer queues, and you won't find that many people in world PvP. So I think it will be the same time you need to play, basically.
But I mean, the thing is that when weekend comes, right, then people will play more. So you could, I mean, theoretically, you could farm more honor during the weekend, and if your pre-made is really efficient, you could earn like you know, 600k during the weekend and shit like that. But I mean, yeah, I mean, in optimal cases, right? But yeah, it would be beautiful. I know that we had a cap on our server in retail at like 450k for you know, and up to 480k. And I mean,
so what keeps fucking it up though? Is it the people that are bracket breakers like you guys keep talking about? Like it's there's a tier 1 team and they set the honor level, and then the other tier 1 team breaks it and they break the bracket and it goes up. Is that the issue that keeps inflating it?
I mean,
yeah. I mean, you account sharers, for example, that can play 24/7. They can get solo somewhere just by losing every game. You get some kind of bonus honor when there is a bonus weekend, even though you lose. I think in Warsong, if you don't get a flag, you don't even get bonus honor while losing. But in AB, you will sit on 1 base, and by the first tick, after the first tick that gets you honor, you get bonus honor as well. Okay. So even while you lose, you can gather honor, and of course the HKs in the battleground. So even by losing, you could, if you account share, get in those regions where you could be in bracket 1 or 2. So yeah, those people are very annoying. And then you have those, I mean, if you have like 2 premates and you can't get along for whatever reason, then the other premate obviously wants to take over the bracket lead because they want to set the brackets for themselves and want to fuck you over if there's drama. So I mean, it's always about the social aspect of the game. Still an MMO, and you have to talk to other people for this.
And like
reason.
one huge thing on Nostarius, and I'm not sure if this is the same on other private servers, but you know, when you win a BG, you can only stack 20 of each you know, mark, right?
Well, yeah.
So I mean, what happens after is that you get them in your mailbox for, was it 3 days, Rana?
3 days.
Yeah, but the problem on Nostarius was that it did not disappear. Unless the server crashed or whatever shit happened, you could, you know, theoretically fucking stack indefinite pages of marks. So people breaking brackets, they had, you know, like 10 pages of Arathi Basin, 10 pages of Warsong, and 10 pages of Outlook Valley. And they did a concerted effort, which gave, is it 1,200?
Nearly 4K. It's 3,800 something.
Yeah, so you could just get like, you could shoot from being 150K below bracket 1, and then suddenly you were fucking on top of them, you know, in like one day. And they did not know what the fuck happened because they can't really see. You just log on when everyone else is logged off, and you go to Darmassus or whatever and fucking hand that shit in 30 minutes and, you know, see you later.
Yeah, but they fixed it.
Yeah, but I mean, so that was a big problem on Nostalgia's, right?
I see.
Yeah.
Now, during Classic, though, man, so you think it is possible, though, like, for people to be done in a week? Like, does that mean they're able to get to rank 14? How fast could someone get to rank 14? Let's say it's a fresh server. It just launched today. And, well, I guess, let's just say the honor system is launching today. How fast could a team theoretically get to rank 14 from a fresh honor system?
I never calculated that. I mean, if you're always in the bracket 1 spots, you always get like 13k RP. And I don't know what the soft cap was of skipping ranks at the beginning. Because at the beginning you don't have any big DK, so you will just jump in ranks. I don't know if it's 2 ranks that you could skip. There's a soft cap because I never went that hard at the beginning.
I see. I mean,
The
is it
thing is
possible?
that-
Let's say it's 2.
You can calculate from the minimum of from 13 to 14, and then the minimum from 12 to 13, right? You can calculate that, and that will be 5 weeks, right?
I mean, you can calculate from the beginning if you want, but I never did that actually. If I would have to take a guess, you need 15 HKs the first week for rank 1, and then you could maybe skip 2 and 3, and then skip 4, 5, 6, 7. After that, I think after 7 it's hard to skip 2, so you might skip 1 only. So you can skip 8, 4 weeks, 5
And
weeks.
each skip you're talking about is a week, right? You're saying like the next weekly update you'd skip. Okay.
Yeah, so I would guess to like 4 weeks, 5 weeks. I would say fastest around 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah.
3
Okay.
months. It's the fast, I would say.
Gotcha. Interesting.
But that's bracket 1 every week. I can calculate it for next PvP panel for sure. Like I can do it on paper.
It's interesting to think about. The other thing I was going to ask you guys, now, and all of you watching right now, what do you guys predict the private server so there's people that have been hardcore private servers and know all this shit, like you and Sorrana. Like, what percentage of the overall Classic WoW population do you think we're going to be?
Good question.
These are all just hypotheticals, right? It's all just for fun, you know what I mean? But I would think 5%, dude. That's how ambitious I'm thinking.
Wait, what?
I think
5%?
the private server players are going to be 5% of the Classic WoW population, dude. What do you guys think? Is that crazy? I mean, is there that many private servers? Like, how many people are playing private servers right now? Like, what, like 20, 30K, something like that? 40? That's nothing, dude. Like, if we're
you see like
millions,
10k. You see like 10k people being online at most of the time. But that doesn't mean it's only those 10k people, because the other time zones are sleeping and so on. So I think there's a lot more of private server people playing.
Okay. So what would you say in percentage? Let's say percentage of the overall Classic WoW population. Well, how many people? Like, are we talking millions in Classic? I think we're talking millions. I don't know. I'm thinking a couple million.
I would say.
I mean,
at the beginning, I would say 25%, and everyone else is like those people.
Wait, what do you mean?
He thinks a quarter of the people playing, right, when Classic starts will be private server people. See, that seems high, dude. I don't know.
Because I think some retail players, they won't give a shit because they think their game is superior and they don't want to grind that much stuff.
But
and then there's those hardcore players that wanna tell everybody that they can do it. So I mean, it will be a lot different at the beginning versus the end of the progression vanilla.
And
So
also the one huge thing I kind of think we're not counting is that there's a lot of fucking people who played private servers. They got fed up with the whole shit going on the private servers, so they moved on to TBC servers, Wrath of the Lich King servers, and I think you should count everyone playing on a private server, no matter what kind of expansion it is.
Sure, but I have to say, I think there's a way larger percent of people who did the same thing but for regular retail WoW. I know them personally. They played Classic WoW, they played a couple expansions, then they tapped out and they were gone. And now they see all this hype on their Blizzard launcher because they play Hearthstone once every month or whatever, and they're like, whoa, Classic WoW, what's that? And it's going to be this like massive population of people who are like sleeper cells getting woke. I don't know. I think that's a lot of people. I don't know. Like, I know personally, my closest friends, I know 4 or 5 of my closest friends. I can name them: Jim, Jose, Max, Michi, Alejandro. They haven't played WoW since fucking TBC, and they're coming back for Classic. So, I don't know. Well,
I just think that we're underestimating the potential of vanilla WoW. When people are trying to figure out numbers, they go like, how many people are playing retail at the moment? But that has nothing to do with it, right? It's like you have father and son, mother and son, daughter and father potential playing this game, and I would have to say, I was a gamer since I could fucking use both my thumbs, and the most fun I ever had, right, was when you're playing local area networks. When you bring your computer to a friend's house, or we had an internet cafe back in Sweden, and you have like 25-30 computers set up in a huge ass room. People are shouting, screaming to each other, playing the same game. I mean, are you kidding me? Can you imagine sitting there next to your son or your daughter or whatever the fuck it is, your father, like 5-6 friends playing in the same house? This game has a lot of potential.
So let's start. Let's start right here, and we're gonna move on to the PvP content, guys. It's just so fun to talk about this stuff. I can't help it.
We're coming to your house, Sorrana.
Oh no, shit.
Yo, so how many people? Let's talk. Do you think we'll play Classic WoW on launch? Let's have a positive note. There will probably be a steep fall off, I'm guessing, of people trying it out, right? But how many people do you think we'll see in the first month of Classic WoW? Just to get the hype going, just get the people amped up. I don't know. You guys are pretty realistic. I'll jump out. I'll say 3 million. First month.
How much?
3 mil.
First month.
In the first month, I think we'll see 3 mil.
How much retail players are there at the moment?
I don't even.
They say like 4. I heard the numbers like 4 million.
Jared says 8 to 10 mil, dude. I hope so, Jared. That would be crazy, man. All right, 40 mil, dude. 40 mil first month.
What you said, Sorrana?
I don't know. If there are 4 million retail subscribers, I think at least half of them will try it at least.
Okay.
Plus the private server community that are not having active subscription now. So maybe around 2.5, 3 million, I don't know.
Okay, yeah. I like it. Yeah. And it'll probably fall off from there potentially, but hopefully the magical aspects of Classic will keep these people in. First game to hit 1 billion. That's the spirit, Irish dude. Fuck Fortnite. We're coming for him, dude.
I'm not sure, and I mean everything is guesstimating, right?
Yeah.
And also it's hard to keep your emotions aside and not doing wishful thinking, right? But I have to agree with whoever said fucking 8 to 10 million.
Ooh.
And I would go as far as maybe even top that.
Yeah.
We're gonna see. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
I think we're gonna see a lot of fall off at the start, because I heard like Nixium talk about this, and he was very, very smart when he talked about it. He said like there's gonna be a lot of hard fall off at the start. people gonna go back to retail because different things. They're gonna log on a hunter and where's my fucking pet?
Or people will just try and get that nostalgia, then keep going back to their life. Yeah.
Yeah, go back to retail. They're gonna finish everything in retail, and they're gonna do like a lot of people did back in the day. They went to 20 or whatever, and then they're like, this shit is boring, it's too hard, and then they're gonna come back when everything is finished in retail. They have nothing to do. They're gonna give it a second chance, and they're gonna fall in love, baby.
So it's gonna go. It's gonna crash down, and then it's gonna go steady increase. Where is it? This way, steady increase.
It seems like yeah.
I hope so, man. If we have anything to do with it, it'll be 8 to 10 million. I have no doubts. So let's get a quick poll of the chat. All right, guys. So let's think 3 months out. So Classic launches, 3 months go by. Put 1 in the chat if you think Classic WoW will be bigger than retail. 2 if you think retail will be bigger than Classic. 3 months out, after the initial hype has died down. Just think about it. I'm personally in the 1 camp. I think Classic WoW will have the staying power. It's the best game ever made, after all. But let's see what you guys think. Okay, we got 1 in the chat. Okay.
I mean, I've seen horrible videos of retail players not even able to figure out how to accept the quest on a quest giver. So I lost some faith in humanity.
Yeah. It's gonna be kind of cool and refreshing though to see a bunch of noobs in the game asking where fucking Mancrick's wife is and stuff again, because it's gotten like everyone knows so much about the game now in the private server community. Okay, we got a lot of 1s in the chat. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Again, put a 1 in the chat if you think 3 months into it, Classic will be bigger than BFA, and 2 if you think BFA is gonna hang on, because there's solid arguments for both. That's what I'm saying. There's solid arguments, but I'm hoping the Classic overtakes BFA. But yeah, while you guys are doing that, we'll move on to the next point. Thanks for sharing all that. So we're going to talk about a PvP topic. This is kind of a polarizing topic. I've seen a lot of the retail YouTubers and streamers kind of shit on Classic PvP, and it was a little, it was a little bit man, it was a little bit eye-opening in a sense, because you kind of live in this Classic WoW private server bubble sometimes, and you kind of forget sometimes that the majority of WoW players are retail players, and a lot of them maybe think of Classic in a bad way or whatever. But what do you guys think about retail PvP versus Classic PvP? Is there anything that you like better about retail, or do you think what do you guys think about that based on your experience playing the game?
So
I think
okay, Taka, go.
I mean, I'm just gonna say a quick thing. What I think was really terrible for the game is that they tried to make like every class fit in every fucking aspect of the game. Like they tried to make every class perfect. Whatever spec you have, you should be able to do arenas, and that for me is a great way to just fuck up a game, because if you want to be whatever, why are you gonna play a healing class, right? And of course, it's not cool to be playing, like in retail, being a resto druid, and it takes like 4 hours to kill a level 50 mob, But disregarding that, I just feel like once they try to make every class, every spec perfect or able or capable to play arenas or do well in PvP, that's an impossible mission.
So the homogenization, right, where they streamlined all the classes, giving all the classes similar tools, just with very slight variations. I would echo that statement. I mean, I think that vanilla had probably the most robust class flavor. Like vanilla did a great job of whatever class you're playing, you would feel envious of other classes, and all the skills felt very unique. And they almost balanced it, not through the classes themselves, but I don't know. I feel like people are still figuring out class balance in vanilla, through all the items and consumables, because there's not these templated type PvP environments. People are still, figuring stuff out in Classic WoW, and it kind of feels more satisfying, almost like more MMO-like and more mysterious. There's more variables at play, where it feels like almost retail PvP is almost like a game of chess. You know, everything is streamlined. You have these classes. You know, you have these cooldowns. You're monitoring the other team's trinkets and offensive and defensive cooldowns, and it's more of just an interplay of blowing cooldowns back and forth.
Yep.
I would personally prefer classic PvP over retail PvP, but at the same time, could I imagine a World of Warcraft without Arena? I still kind of like Arena. I don't know. What do you think, Sorrana?
I mean, that's personal preference, I would say. I think Arena is more like the game type of like dueling. Like if you like to duel a lot, you play those 2s and those 3s, and you only have to care about like your three enemies at the same time to CC and outplay and stuff. But what I don't like about arenas is that you only go for the kill. If you kill someone, and it's over, right? And then if you in like classic PvP, you have an objective besides the killing. And killing is not always a good idea, like we said. If you have like healers somewhere standing around, or mages, you don't kill them. You just let them be and keep them in combat so they cannot rag, and they are totally useless in the mid of the game field of the battleground. So I think if you're really that one guy that is just excelling in duels, then maybe Arena is more like one of your play styles. And if you're one guy that likes like world PvP and group PvP, then maybe Battlegrounds is better for you, or better suited for you. And then there is those multi-talents that can do both really good. Yeah.
What do you guys think?
So basically,
the glory days. Do you think Classic was the best World of Warcraft PvP ever got, or is it a different expansion that comes to mind?
Debatable. I mean, I don't think you can compare it, because you never had everything you wanted to do. So you never had an expansion where you could go Battlegrounds seriously or Arena seriously. I mean, you had rated Battlegrounds at some point, but the classes were so different that Warsong and Arathi Basin had a totally different meta game because of all the new abilities and new classes and stuff. So I think you cannot compare that.
10 demon hunters.
10 demon hunters, dude. For me, I think Lich King, I still really enjoyed Wrath. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed Wrath. But Wrath was, believe it or not, kind of the very beginning of the end for me. Like, when Death Knights got introduced, and we saw what they did with that hero class, and hero classes got introduced, and the power spike we saw there, I started to get that kind of retail itch, you know, that I just kept feeling like nagging at me, that never subsided up until where we are today. Like, it almost like the essence of the game started to deteriorate at that point, even though I really enjoyed Wrath overall. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, someone in the chat made a good point of saying that in vanilla, it's not all about your class. Like, you can use different things like items, consumables, and stuff to improve your class. And what you have now in those expansions like BFA and so on, it's only your class. You can't use anything else. It's just your class. And if your class isn't enough because of some things of balance issues or some stuff, and you're out
of luck. Dude, that's such a good point, Sorrana. Yeah. So maybe it's potentially smarter to balance things around all the like items and consumables rather than class. I don't know. Because vanilla was the only time where that was a thing, right? Because ever since they introduced templated PvP, you know, like arenas type stuff, that was gone. That was out the window. They controlled what you could and could not use.
I think in TBC you could use some consume still in arena, but after that they removed it more and more.
Yeah.
I mean, but credit to someone from the chat that wasn't my idea. Someone in the chat told me about this.
Hey, what's up, Rough Rider? Yeah. Ooh, Takanashi just subscribed. Oh, what's up, Taka? Over there. Thank you for the subscription, buddy. Appreciate it, per usual.
But yeah, I would say as well, you know, I had a lot of fun in Wrath of the Lich King. I really enjoyed arenas in Wrath of the Lich King. I feel like it was probably season 1 or season 5, what you call it, in Wrath of the Lich King was, you know, like DK and Paladins were fucking unkillable. but I would say at the end, you know, the last 2 seasons there were really balanced. A lot of people say that Mist of Pandaria or whatever, it was a really good expansion, but I did not try it myself. But like Sorrana says, you know, it's really nice to do PvP when the objective is not only to kill people. It's actually to be smart, and you know, you can debate about it being a real-time strategy game, or, but yeah, I really like pre-mating and you know, just being 10 or 15 guys, girls having fun together, and you know, drinking vodka the whole night.
Yeah. I mean, you said like the in this one season, Death Knights were so OP, they were unkillable. And you had the same statements in early vanilla, when everyone was just playing the game, experiencing it. It was like, it was set in stone that it was rock, paper, scissors, right? As a mage, there was no way you could ever lose to a warrior back then in the day. But see what happened now. People found a way with like items, consumes, and so on, to balance the game around their character for themselves. So now these days, you see a lot of warriors can compete against a good mage in many ways.
And that's so cool. And no other version of WoW has had that, right? I mean, as far as, because it's all templated, right?
People balance the game for themselves at some point, just because they found out things, and it's so nice. And I just feel that in the later expansions, they don't have enough time to do stuff like that, or maybe they don't have the intention, or they are restricted from doing it by the game itself. So
here's the thought too. So you know how there's a bunch of different potions in vanilla, and you kind of have to make an executive decision on which one you're going to use in a certain situation. You know, that's a kind of a cool aspect of it too, right? Like, you know, your consumables, you are limited within your consumables which one you can use, so you can make misplays with the consumables, and I don't know, it's just a whole nother dimension to the game that's so fucking cool. Okay, so do you think vanilla arenas would be like a meme? You know, I don't want them. I don't want them. just hypothetically. What if there was a vanilla arenas with all consumables and shit?
I mean, it's all about the rewards, right? I don't think people would have started playing Arena if there wouldn't be exclusive awards. Because you stopped playing Battlegrounds because there was only the best PvP gear from Arena as rewards. And it's the same in classic PvP. You go Battlegrounds because it's the most efficient way to get your rank 14 grind. And I think it's all about rewards. If they implement Arena without any rewards, some people will play it for fun, of course. But no one will take it seriously, because everyone is like a comparison. Yeah, I'm better than you, blah blah blah. But it doesn't matter if you don't have to show something that I got those shoulders from my arena rank or whatever, because there's no reward for it. So if they implement Arena, they have to set or put in rewards, and then again, how you gonna balance it to the PvP ranking system? Because this is like 100% AIDS grind, right? We know. So is Arena easier to grind up? Is it even better rewards while having it easier, or will it be harder, or will it be much better rewards by being harder, or whatever? I think there's a lot to think about this if they would do something like this. I mean,
I see.
The only thing I feel regarding arenas and rated battleground is that it's so much easier to get gear. I mean, if you're good, let's assume that you're, you know, pretty decent skilled PvPer. You just grind that first fucking week and then you're done. You know, you just sit at 2,200 rating. You do like fucking 10 games a week or have some fun or whatever, and you just write the rewards and whatever, right? The thing with the vanilla battleground system is that if you take a break, you're down 1 rank. You know, you're screwed. You have to grind for 1 week or 2 more weeks just to get back where you were. And I mean, I like the arenas and I like the RPG, but I feel because there's no way for you to, I mean, I first saw this shit when I played StarCraft, you know, ladder games back in the day.
Hell yeah, me too, man.
And when you were trying to get top 50, there were like only Koreans, almost like 50 Koreans or 49 Koreans and you, right? So what they did was you were, you know, kind of challenging other teams or people, whatever, for games, and they had to accept your challenge, right? So what they did were they never accepted your challenges. They only accepted their own challenges so they could keep those 49 Koreans at the top. So they could win one game and make more points than you would winning like 20 games, right? And you know, there's so many aspects to kind of cheat with the rating system. So I feel if they would ever do something in vanilla, they should kind of figure out, you know, a better way, right?
I see. Makes sense.
It's 2019, for God's sake.
Now, okay, here's an interesting point. So thanks for, we just got a big spike in viewership. I'm not sure why, but welcome everybody who's tuning in. And real quick, thank you very much, The Real Hathos, for subscribing on Twitch Prime. Thank you very much, my friend. Now, knowing what you guys know, you know, these guys are seasoned vanilla players. They played back in retail vanilla. They've played for years and years on private servers. What is your overall feeling? Remind the people of your feeling based on what you know about class balance in vanilla. Is it extreme as people say? Because you made a point before, Sorrana, like you said, it's almost like, you know, there's a certain flavor of the month towards who's broken, right? In every patch and every expansion, people are saying, oh, DKs are broken, this class is broken, this spec is broken. But then the longer and longer the game comes out, you know, people figure out ways to beat them, the meta changes. What are your guys' overall thoughts about class balance from a PvP perspective in vanilla?
Okay, so from the info, what I experienced now and what I know of now from all the private server stuff and so on, I would say that every class has its place. PvP. Yeah. And
every
you use
class,
them
without exception, class. Every class.
Yeah, good. It's different with specs, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't think that Resto Druids, for example, have its place somewhere. Unfortunately, okay. Like, or Moonkins. I mean, if you're having fun playing this, it's totally fine.
Residence.
I mean, yeah, it's a meme spec, right? But it's fun, so that's why people play it. And I encourage anyone to do. If you have fun at the game, just do it, okay? But you just have to know that if you go with people and have a target like getting rank 14, or maybe going with like a really hardcore raiding guild, that you might have to sacrifice some gold into respecking here and there. But I mean, out of the raids or the ranking, you can still go whatever you have fun with. But I think, yeah, every class has its spots, and not every spec though. But you can still play it.
Okay, so with all the specs that you do deem to be viable in a pre-made setting, are there really super hard counters, like strict counters that are just an absolute non-starter, you have no win condition, you're just fucked? Or is it with access to all items and consumables and all that? What do you think?
I think it's still viable from the beginning. I mean, I don't know any class that's really bad that you would say, oh come on, you need some more gear before we gonna take you in for this or that purpose. I don't think there's any of those. I couldn't think of one class.
That's very good to hear, man.
Like Druids, if they flag carry, you obviously get a huge boost with the 4-stat bonus of your PvP set, because you get the extra movement speed in your traveling form and stuff. But you can still do it without it. I mean,
and you were
it's
saying
just
before,
a little bit harder.
When I think polarizing matchup in vanilla, I think Frost Mage Warrior. That's what comes to mind as a kind of just somewhat noob dude when it comes to PvP. Like, you know, but you're saying that with all items and consumables, you know, it can potentially be player over class, right? And you can still have a win condition versus mages. And Taka can maybe speak on this. You're saying as a good warrior, you can find ways to beat Frost Mages?
Yeah, I mean, like we talked about, you know, previous panels, the mind game is very important when you're playing as a warrior against mages. You have to kind of fake intercept, make them blink, just fucking stop your character, you know, run towards him and just stop and then run again. And most mages will just fucking blink right on top of you and just BAM!
Is that because they're thinking you're about to charge? Is that why?
Yeah,
Can you
yeah,
explain
yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
okay. That's funny,
It's
man.
it's like you have really good mages, of course, that'll never, they hardly ever blink. They just, use AoE spells and they run or kite you and run around you and stuff like that. But yeah.
But let's imagine what happened. I mean, when the demo came out on the BlizzCon demo, everyone who was like really hardcore on their class tried different things. Is this the same like back in the day? Is this the same like on private servers? For example, warrior charges. There's so much about warrior charges. If you charge with 2 warriors each other, if you charge a blinking mage, if you charge someone who's jumping, and so on. I mean, we don't know how they will do that. If they will do it like the demo, that it's completely different from private servers and classic WoW back then. Because like in WoW back then, if you jump a charge, you just have a big advantage over a warrior, just because he's just bound on the where he charges to, and you are just 2 yards or 3 yards away while jumping. So will they fix this stuff? So there's so much guessing around the PvP stuff. And I mean, private servers fixed it to some point, but will they take it over into the classic experience or not? Hard to tell. Those things are important, I think, for many classes.
Definitely, definitely. So just to kind of like summarize that for you guys, I mean, it's and so yeah, before I summarize it, would you agree, Sorrana, that it's generally going to be player over class, right? So even if you were to play like a meme spec, like a Redditin or something like that, or maybe a balanced druid, but you're a rank 14 player and you're going up against let's say a hard counter, you can still find a way to win if you can just outplay them, right?
Yeah, always. I mean, it's like meme specs are so much harder to control because no one is used to play against them. If you go in the battleground, you always see holy paladins, and you can control holy paladins pretty easy as a rogue, for example, if you stick to them. But what if a red paladin stacked up with reckoning comes to you, just one-shots you nearly to 10%? What you gonna do? It's so different. So I mean, yeah.
It's a beautiful thing about vanilla, guys. Like, play what you want. You can be an enthusiast on any class, any spec in the game, and just really become an enthusiast, dive deep, do the math, collaborate with others, and find a way to make it freaking awesome, and develop a whole brand and identity on the server around that class and spec. One of the coolest things in vanilla, and it's kind of tying into what we were talking about earlier, that a lot of the balance in vanilla isn't directly related to just the class's abilities alone. There's so much more there. There's items, there's consumables, the profession type shit. Like, there's so much there. That do you guys think we have it all figured out? Is 100% figured out of the super optimal way to do everything? I don't know. Maybe with the introduction of real classic WoW, the meta is going to shift in another direction that we couldn't even have expected. No one is to know, but there's just so many different ways you can build out that, man, it just lends itself to such flexibility. Like, you can just get that blacksmithing anti-fear trinket. Like, there's just so many freaking items in this game, guys. But yeah, let's see. So we talked about class imbalance. Let's move on to the next topic, which is going to be common mistakes. So this is a topic that was brought up by Sorrana and Taka before. They're talking about, what things come to mind. What do newer players do?
I like that you took what's his name, the guy on the right.
Danny DeVito. Yeah, it's just a funny little meme right there.
Figured that. Yeah, that's a dwarf. That's a definite alliance card.
That's how Horde view the dwarves, man. We just put a little funny meme in there.
There's an orc warlock.
So what are some common mistakes, Taka, that you see in vanilla that new players or players of lower skill levels make that you can identify?
Well, I'm gonna go out first and just say I'm gonna identify the mistakes that I see seasoned players make.
Okay.
The really good ones. A huge mistake I see a lot of the time is when you have like bunched up people, and maybe someone took your flag carrier is closing in on your base, and the enemy flag carrier is shooting across the field. He kind of connects with his teammates, and your team is like almost killing him. He was almost killing him, running behind him, coming from sides and shit like that. Almost everyone tries to keep up and kill him. What you should do is have 2 or 3 guys just break off the pact, and I mean, don't do anything to help. Whatever you see, just mount up, run, and outflank him, and try to get him from the front. You know, like, because he's gonna be alone, right? Because he's using every fucking consumable. He's getting blessings of freedom or dispels or whatever. He's fapping. He's just swiftness potions. He's trying to break away. And when you 2 or 3 guys connect with that guy, he's dead, right?
So it's all about burst and tempo, and as opposed to just following him, throwing out chip damage like as he runs away, invest as a group to ride up in front of him together and burst them together.
Just having that awareness that we are not 100% going to kill this guy now. We're going to break off and just, you know, reconnect, right? It's very easy, and everyone's going to be, of course, they're going to do that, right? But in reality, when you're almost killing something, you want to try to kill him. You want to run after him. You want to, and this is something that I always think about, and I know Sorrana thinks about a lot of the time. And you don't even have to tell Sorrana that he needs to do this. He's just going to do it. And this is a really, really beautiful thing when you have people that play well together. They're going to, okay, I'm not in combat. This guy is running away from the pact. I'm going to circle around him, and he's just fucking dead, right? Because he's probably used every defensive cooldown. He used every potion, whatever. Everything is on cooldown. So when Sorrana hits him unexpectedly, he's like, you know, fucking gone, right? Yeah.
That's a great tip. It's a great tip. And to piggyback off that, it seems simple, but be objective based, right? Don't get too caught up in fighting mid and going for the kills, and just try and take a step back. Don't get triggered by the person who just ganked you midfield. Assess the situation. Look at the map, look where the objectives are, and you know, carve out a strategy that's going to be objective based as opposed to letting your emotions take control of you. Anything that comes to mind from you, Sorrana?
There's only one occasion where you should click like a maniac in the game, and that's when you are about to kill a flag carrier, or maybe even you don't have to kill him. So what many people do, especially mages, I just know it from experience by playing a rogue and defending. Mages have like 2 ways of getting flags out, and they have like those 2 class tools, which is like the blink and the ice block, right? To get away from you. So maybe like first stun they will blink from you, and if you can like outplay it with like sprint or whatever you have, the next stun you will put on them, they will most likely ice block and remove it like as fast as they can and pick up the flag again. So while they are removing crippling poison, for example, or any slow or stun with the ice block, they also lose the flag, of course. And if they remove the ice block fast enough after the global cooldown, of course, and click the flag at the same moment, then it is really hard for anyone who's chasing them to click the flag before them, because they will do they just know what they will do, and before it shows up on your screen it's already too late, maybe.
Yeah.
So if you're a rogue, you can just predict that. It's so easy. It's so fun to do as well. If you just see the pattern in a mage, like if he has no blink or other ability to avoid your next slow or stun, just click like a maniac and slightly to the right behind his character. Slightly to the right behind his character is always where the flag drops. Okay, so if you chase someone and you are directly behind him, slightly to the right behind him, that's where the flag drops.
So you know you're not going to try and burst him down or anything. You know he's going to drop it. So as soon as you stun him, you're already predicting to click that flag, and he's just going to block like reflexively.
He has to avoid the second stun, otherwise I will just global him with facility or trinkets or whatever. So he has to get away somehow. So he will just hammer the button, and while I'm just clicking like a maniac, auto-hitting him, he's maybe then pressing the ice block, and then I will cap the flag, and his global isn't even off to remove the ice block, and that's how you get the flag back. You don't even have to kill him, and then you just go back and leave him be.
Yep.
So,
that's it. That's a great little tip right there.
And the other thing that we talked about earlier is the fact that you never kill an healer.
Yes, very important.
Yes, just fucking follow him around and throw kisses.
You just let him stand there like an idiot. Okay. Yeah, don't bother.
Yeah.
So what do you do if you are an healer? Do you just try and die? Like, or do you just try and go off into a corner and drink? Like, it seems equally bad.
I mean, if the enemy team is really good, they will keep you in combat. Like, one hunter will just send the pad on you when you will try to get out of combat, and then he will get it back so it doesn't kill you. It's annoying as fuck as a caster, even if you are a mage. I mean, as a mage you can use a pot or something, but I mean, if you see they are totally you just keep them in combat with an auto hit, bow shot, whatever.
Yeah. Hunters that are really nice, I see them using that pet attack macro like all the time. Just you see the pet running back and forth on different characters, never allowing you to mount up or getting out of combat, and yeah, they can be really annoying, harassing you, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, as a healer, I mean, I'd say that my job is to assist my healers a lot, and if I see someone harassing my healers, I mean, what's the #1 priority in a BG? To stay alive, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're dead, you're not making any sense. So I mean, keeping your healers, making sure that they're able to do their job is high on the priority list. So make sure that your healers love you, and they always look out for you, right? So if they need your help, make sure that you're.
And what does that mean for you as a warrior? You're intercepting them, you're putting on hamstrings, you're peeling for them, you're trying to get the people off them.
Yeah, so that's one of the things we discussed earlier. Saving your intercept, because that's pretty much your only gap closer in combat.
In combat,
right?
Yep.
And I mean, I try when you're in a fight, mid-fight or whatever, you see something is going on, I would save that intercept for defensive, or like we're talking about now, saving my healers.
You were saying one of the PvP panels, you were saying that you pretty much almost never use the intercept offensively. So is that a common mistake you see with warriors? They use it offensively thinking they're going to try and get a kill, and then you can just jump on that opportunity knowing they have no way to get out of harm's way?
I mean, it's the same with mages, right? They have their blink, and then it's game over. Of course, the mages have more oh shit buttons, but the warriors pretty much only have. I mean, you can use your shield wall and shit like that. Maybe I see some orc warriors spec into last stand and whatever. But I mean, basically, you have your intercept to get out of a situation, and if you use that. Most people, once you use your intercept, they will stun you, and you're pretty much, global, right? Because if another warrior intercepts you on their side of the fence, you're stunned for 3 seconds, and if you're stunned for 3 seconds, then you're dead. That's pretty much it.
I see.
So,
and just to jump on that, to piggyback on that, guys, this is one thing that I see not only in Classic, but speaking mainly from retail experience. It's like you don't want to blow your load too quickly. There's a lot of benefit in staggering your cooldowns and breaking them out. And one of the most noob things, at least I used to do early on in WoW, is like as soon as the arena would open, or in this case it would be Classic, first person you see, you blow all your offensive cooldowns. And if they're a decent player and they're able to just create distance from you and let your cooldowns fade out, then you just blew them for no reason, and then you're in a bad position. So trying to like jebait people, like it's the mind games Taka was saying, really trying to jebait people into blowing cooldowns, and then trying to mitigate all the value they get from that cooldown, and then jumping on them. It's kind of that chess game back and forth. But the TLDR there is just don't blow everything right away. Try and go into combat thinking you're going to stagger your cooldowns out and use them as needed.
Yeah.
Bind everything separately.
You know, when you're starting a fight, let's say you're going to blacksmith as a warrior, right? Like most people I see are trying to charge someone they want to kill, right? But you have to be realistic. If there's like 5 people standing left and right, and you're trying to charge a person that's mid, you're never going to be able to do that before you enter combat, you know. So it's better to charge someone next to him, but you know you're almost there, and then you can kind of start auto hitting or whatever. And also a lot of people, when they're on their mounts or running around as a warrior, you're in battle stance because you want to get that charge off, right? And then you get sapped and you're standing there looking like a fucking idiot for 45 seconds. Right?
Sorrana's done that before.
Yeah. So I mean, it's really important for you as a warrior to understand that you need to move around in circle stance so you can pop circle rage and get out of bad situations, and just be fast on the keybinds to get that charge off when you need it. Yeah.
Can even get out of rocket helmet zap, right? With Berserker zap. Yeah, so sick.
Now, another thing that comes to mind, I think Sorrana and Taka would probably have a better perspective on this because you're more experienced, but how do you avoid tunnel visioning? I think that's one of the main things that fucks people up. They're not comfortable enough with their keybinds that they need a tunnel vision and look down at their keyboard to make sure they're clicking the right shit. Do you guys have any tips on how to not tunnel vision when it comes to PvP and have higher situational awareness?
Can I just answer a quick question and follow up on the cooldown usage from Doc?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
Yeah, it's like I, as a warrior, I know it's really nice to press shit like recklessness and stuff like that, and but I mean, there's situations where your leader is gonna ask you to pop big cooldowns. So, as a general rule, I don't care how much I want to press it. I never use it until I'm told, right? It's the same as having a raid leader. You're doing this, you're killing a boss, and you're doing what you're supposed to and what this guy is asking you to do. So I try to save recklessness and shit like that, especially, if we're fighting a pre-made, right? Then I need those big cooldowns. If let's say we're trying to break a turtle, having those cooldowns when you're breaking a turtle is huge, right? So I would definitely save those big burst cooldowns for those situations. Yeah.
I see.
Pre-mates. Yeah. I'm sorry.
No worries. I just wanted to just see if you guys had any thoughts on the whole tunnel vision thing, Sorrana. Like, how do you improve your awareness as a player and not suffer from the tunnel vision?
I think setting up your UI to your preferences is really important, because I had trouble at the beginning of the game with checking my HP. I just fell over, was dead, and I didn't even notice that I was so low. So what I did is just moving my my HP bar from the upper left corner of my screen more to the middle, and that really sealed the deal for me. It was so nice to just having it in my peripheral view, like around my character, that I can just have a little quick look at my HP bar to see what's up. And I think you can do the same with whatever you have trouble with. If you have trouble with I don't know, diminishing returns on your nature's enemy cast bar, just put it somewhere where you could where you're looking all the time, or maybe get a specific add-on that can help you out with that. Or maybe if you have if the classic Blizzard UI bars is just too wide for your monitor or something, just get bartender and just, I don't know, put your cooldowns into your peripheral view somewhere in the middle of your screen. I mean, no one will judge you for this. If that works out for you, then it's good. That's a good thing. And if someone comes around and says, "Nice UI, mate, man. How can you see anything?" It's just if it works for you and you do your job perfectly with that setup, then everything is fine. Don't worry about what other people say.
I think another thing is you need to actually consciously make an effort to go practice your keybinds and try and not look at the keyboard. Go out there, just kill stuff day to day. You know, if it's not, you're not really doing dailies in vanilla, but whatever you're doing out in the open world, try and do it without looking at your keyboard. Build up that muscle memory, because ideally you want to set up your keybinds in a way where the only things you're seeing are like the cooldown related things that you need to track, and they're right within your field of vision. All the stuff that doesn't have a cooldown, you don't even want to be looking at that stuff. It doesn't even need to be visible, because you know what numbers, you know, interact with those abilities, and then all you're tracking right in the middle of your screen is all the cooldowns, the key cooldowns that you need to manage. But yeah, that's good stuff. Good stuff, guys. Now let's move on to another segment. I was really curious about your guys' thoughts on this. This is intentionally blank. So as you guys know, in consumables, items, such a key part of vanilla WoW. And classic, you know, if you're going to PvP seriously, it's really an expectation for you to have engineering and some of these items available to you. Now, Sorrana and Takanashi playing Rogue and Warrior. These aren't classes known for their gold farming prowess. Now, if with limited resources, finite time and resources, what consumables, what items do you prioritize having 100% uptime on? What would you rank as the #1 thing that you want to have on you all the time, and go down the list from there?
Yeah, I mean,
depends on class, but as a rogue, I would say Skull of Impending Doom.
Okay.
I would say like you know, FAPS, definitely.
FAPS. Okay, we'll write this in there. So if you
you're a
can
druid,
explain a little bit of why Skull of Impending Doom is so important for you as a rogue.
So I mean, it's hard to make a ranking, but I would say Skull of the Impending Doom is so nice for a rogue, because it gets you out of so much control that the hard counters of your class can apply on you. So like a Warlock Seduce you could break. You can do that with the PvP trinket as well, but they just can recast it, for example. So you have the cooldown on your insignia, and the succubus will just cast it again, of course with diminishing return, but you're still stuck in the seduce. Same as a mage, they will just sheep you 2 times. If they are experienced, they will sheep you once, and the time you're sheep, they will just start another cast, because they predict your PvP trinket. Most rogues will just blow it right away. The second they get sheep, they will press the insignia button, and they will get sheeped instantly again, because the mage is just casting it while you press the button. So with the Skull of the Impending Doom, you have 10 seconds of being free from sheep all the time if you let it run. So it also gives you the speed boost, which is nice. It can get you out of blinds, it can get you out of sheeps, out of seduce, out of warrior fears, something like this.
So it's actually the more valuable aspect of this trinket, of this offhand. Sorry guys, just to clarify for you guys, Skull of Impending Doom is an offhand. You get it from a quest called Forbidden Knowledge in the Badlands. It gives you +7 intellect, which is not really that useful to a rogue, but it's mainly the effect. It increases your run speed by 60% for 10 seconds, but deals 100 to 501 damage and drains 100 to 501 mana every 2 seconds. So the mana is not an issue. So as a rogue, you're free from that downside. So you're getting dealt damage. So why would getting dealt damage to yourself be good? It's like what Sorrana said. It's to keep you CC immune, right? So is that the more valuable part than the run speed increase, to your mind?
Yes, very much. Because if you sit in a sheep for like 10 seconds, and then they will recast it, you sit like 18 seconds in, and so on. It's just, they take you out of the game. And if you deny this, you can still do something.
Okay,
that's important.
So this is your #1 thing you're trying to get as a rogue and have it off on cooldown. Very good to know.
Yeah, I always equip it. If it's off cooldown, it's in my offhand every time.
Very, very cool. Very cool stuff. Now, Taka says free action potions. Can you give us a little information on why free action potion is the #1 thing you want to make sure you have on you at all times?
I mean, as a warrior, you have so bad mobility. It's really hard to catch up with cannon classes, and if you get slowed or stunned or frozen or whatever, it can be, you could be dead before you even reach them. And the free action potion is a potion just like any potion with a cooldown of 2 minutes, and it gives you, you know, you can't use it while you're already stunned or whatever. You have to pre-use it, and then you become immune to stun and movement impairing effects for 30 seconds.
30 seconds, Jesus, that is a long time.
It's not 10 seconds, it's fucking 30 seconds. That's a lifetime in vanilla PvP.
So it doesn't free you from something that's going to impair your movement, but if you use it preemptively, it will keep you immune to it. So the key is to really have the game sense on when to use it to get maximum value from it.
Yep.
Okay.
Pretty much, if you're fighting a mage and you see that they're trying to whatever, then you can just pop it, because 30 seconds, I mean, shit, it's gonna, So unless he's gonna sheep you and let that run its course, then you're in a bad situation. But that's, I mean.
Now, does this keep you immune to roots?
Yep. Everything.
So when you're up against a class that has an instant cast CC, you'd have to be even more sensitive towards when to use it preemptively, right? Because if you use it 1 second too late and you're caught in a Nova, then you're kind of fucked, right?
Yeah, but I mean, the Nova is gonna last for, how long is this? 4 seconds?
Yeah, I think 4 seconds, but it's enough to sheep you, so it's bad.
So that's the,
I see.
So,
like if the mage see the fab on you, it has a visual effect, like a little wave. It's like a freedom from paladins.
You see the circle on the ground.
Yeah, they will sheep you.
And what do you do as a rogue if you see someone pop a FAP and you see the animation? Let's say the fight's starting and they use it like very early into the fight. Are you just trying to disengage and run away and reset and try and have that tick out, or what's
Well, that's like druids. Really good druids will always do it on the first flag pull to get it out of your base, because they know obviously that you're there, and that's really hard to do. So you have to prepare your fight basically. So you wanna catch the druid before he unstealths and takes the fab. So you wanna get him in cat if he's still in stealth. You can do that with cat's eye elixir, or maybe the engineering goggles, the cat's eye goggles that increases your stealth detection. Something like that. Or if you're a human rogue, you use perception to find him, and then you have to predict if he's coming into tunnel into your base, or maybe through the balcony upstairs. So that's a little gamble. But if you can get him before he pops the fab, that's a big advantage on your side. If he did pop the fab and you somehow missed it or whatever, if he's in a bear form or whatever, the only chance you have is blinding or rocket helmeting him. If he's really good, he will use a Skull of Impending Doom as well. So there's no way you can stop him at that point, because all you have, like the blinds and the rocket helmet, the sleeping sand, whatever, it will break because of the skull. There's nothing you can do, only chase him, or maybe,
So
I don't know,
if you pop skull and free action potion, nothing is really CCing you in the game, pretty much.
Yep, that's a really hard counter against rogues, and it's always on the first pull. So if you having something like that as a rogue, I would suggest don't blow your cooldowns like blind and shit. It will get broken anyway. So to communicate to your team where the flag is going, save them for the next pull, because next time he won't have the cooldown probably. If he fails, if your team kills him mid and he will come again, he has cooldown on Fab or in Impending Doom on the skull, so you will have it a lot easier using your cooldowns and make them count.
I see. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah. If you do it against other classes, like for example, if a mage is coming and pre-popping a Fab, you can just zap him all the time. So either he blows a cooldown to get out with like ice block, which is really good. If he blows an ice block for a zap, that's welcome. And if he's like fabbed and gets the flag out, but he blown to ice blocks because you can blind or rocket helmet him again.
So some of your CC options still apply, even though a FAP is engaged, right? Even though a FAP is active, like you're saying a SAP, which would be the
advantage you have. The advantage you have, you can zap the mage before he uses the Skull of Impending Doom. So if you see an incoming, you can just go to him and zap him before he uses the skull. Because otherwise, if he uses the skull again with the Fab, it's the same story like the druid. You can't do anything.
I see.
Basically.
Interesting.
Yeah. So you have to wait it out. Or if you have a priest or a really nice warlock with you, they can dispel the fab. It's a magic effect, the potion, so you can dispel the effect. Shaman can purge it, Priest can purge it. The Fell Hunter pet of the Warlock can be lucky and purge it if there's no other buffs on it. And I heard that there's a mace in game, a one-hand mace called Serenity, and the Serenity has a chance to dispel one magic effect on proc. But it doesn't work on private servers at the moment. I think it worked on Nost code, but it doesn't on Northdale, I think.
Interesting.
But yeah, so you can have that in your bags, Serenity. Use it as your main hand if you see that, and then just spam cheap energy attacks or abilities like even Feint. Feint is the most useless ability you have in game as a rogue, because in raids you never use it. You just use Vanish to reset aggro, and it doesn't deal any damage, and it doesn't give you any passive bonuses in vanilla. So what you do is you spam Feint, because it only costs like 25, I think, energy. So compared to a Hemo of 35 or like Sinister Strike of 40 energy, it's much cheaper. And you can spam it, and it can proc things, actually.
Huh? It can proc your Serenity. That doesn't seem like it would be. Does that seem Blizz-like though? That seems weird. Because it's not really an offensive ability.
To be honest, I never tried it in Classic WoW, and yeah, I have no idea if that's Blizz-like or if it's only a private server thing.
That's a pro tip though. Yeah, that's super counterintuitive. Now, so Skull of Impending Tomb is an offhand. As far as an actual consumable, are you aligned with Taka and for a rogue? I know it's going to be class specific. Is free action potion going to be... Because guys, you can only use one potion. You know, that could be a healing potion, that could be an invis pot, that could be a free action potion, that could be the living potion or whatever, every 2 minutes. So is that the potion of choice for you as a rogue as well? Is that your #1 consumable to use?
Yeah, if I compare it to the other potions, it would always be free action potion.
Okay.
Yeah. And the one you said, what's it called? Living.
Yeah, there's the living action potion.
That's the one that frees you, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's only for how long is it?
10 seconds or something like that? 1 second.
It's 5 seconds. Yeah. It frees you from those effects, but it's only active for 5 seconds, and it releases with CG patch 1.7.
Yeah. So then back then we're only already ranked 14.
Yep. If you do it right, you want to be rank 14 by that.
So
also changes world PvP a lot. Like if you're a rogue and you're trying to gank someone, the initial stun will always be purged by living action, and then second will be blinked by mages. It's a game changer for many classes.
Yeah. But I mean, what do you think? I saw someone asking about the dwarf rogues. I would say it would be better to be dwarf whatever to counter rogues, right?
Yeah, that's true. I also think, I mean, what can you think of that rogue racial is doing good? I mean, it frees you from poisons, bleeds. That's basically it, right? And makes you immune to stuff like that. So I think if you play against hunters, it's better to just take like a jungle remedy or like a poison resistance potion instead of your racial ability, maybe. It's kinda good against warriors if you can remove the bleed, maybe. So you can have an easier re-stealth, but it's not like that bleed would kill you at some point. I mean, against blind it is really good, but how often you face a rogue in pre-made battlegrounds? It's only on Goldmine if you're in Arathi Basin, probably, and then you can predict it with the Skull of Impending Doom, so that you don't even need the ratio. So it's hard for me to tell why dwarf rogues are so good, and I can't really think. Can you think of anything on Horde side that can really annoy you with any kind of poison or something like that?
Well, it seems stupid, but I mean, Serpent's thing, right? Would keep you in combat. Sorry, go ahead.
You have the Shadow Priest, diseases shit or whatever.
Devouring Plague.
Yeah, that the dwarves removes, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so that's probably the...
Does it make you immune to fear, Stonefall? No.
No.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
It removes, what is it, like diseases, bleeds, and poisons, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Now,
So
after free action potion, is there something that is a close number 2 or something that you want to prioritize? Like, so you always want to have 100% uptime free action potion. What comes next after that?
I mean, I would definitely have some kind of, you know, frost potion or health. You know, always run with major health potions and limited invulnerability potions.
If you had to pick
Yeah,
one
lips
out of
for
those.
casters. Oh man, for casters, lips are even more important than free action potions. I forgot about that. If you get a lip that makes you immune 5 seconds to any physical damage and effects, that's so hardcore, and you can still do everything. It's like a little paladin bubble for you while you're casting stuff. So you can have a free sheep if the rogue cannot blind you. Grenades stop it, can interrupt it. But otherwise, I think, wow, like lip is really broken for casters to get like free casts off. It's like a little oh shit button for you if you don't have anything else.
So
it's
not
really
only does it
important for
prevent
casters.
any physical damage, but I guess part of the physical damage is going to be that pushback, right? So you're saying they can free cast on you when they pop a lip?
Yep. I mean, yeah. I mean, counter spells and stuff. No physical stuff can like you kick or pummel is not affecting you if you have it on. So if you fight against melees that are close to you and you use the lip, you're immune 5 seconds. I mean, rogues can blind you to interrupt it, and I said you can use the nade. I think you can use rocket helmet as well, because it's a magic effect. Yeah, but you can't kick any spells, something like that. You can't deal any damage. So. Yeah, a good lip. I mean, if the lip is placed well against the rogue, I mean, at some point, if you have CG trinket and a facility, you can just global people with as a dagger rogue if you do it right. And if they use a lip pretty early in that fight, they can prevent you from using all those cooldowns or make them wasted. Yeah.
Gotcha. So yeah, limited invulnerability, pretty much equivalent potentially to free action potions, just for different classes, right? For casters, that's going to be more useful. I mean, are you potentially ever using that over a free action potion though, like against another damage dealer, or is it you can't really think of a situation?
I mean, you have lots of situations where there's like maybe one melee against you and another class, and you see that the melee has, you know, is a better player or has better gear than the caster or the hunter, whatever it is. I mean, using a limited invulnerability potion could be huge, right? You could potentially kill him before they even start doing damage to you. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of situational, right? But I 100%. I mean, there's a lot of rogues, there's a lot of warriors out there that's gonna try to gank you. When you're leveling, especially and out in the world, I mean, rogues can be fucking annoying, and if you can pop that lip as a warrior, I mean, you know, because a lot of, I mean, Sorrana says that there's, you know, you have this, you can see when people are using different spells and potions or whatever, but like we also talked about tunnel vision, you know. Most people have tunnel vision, and it doesn't matter if there's a big fucking red sign waving across the screen that says this guy popped limited invulnerability potion. They're gonna still pop their cooldowns and just mash their buttons. So yeah, it's kind of situational, but definitely something in my bags.
Yeah, that's something just to reiterate again. I really think one of the main things you can do to get better as a PvPer is to get really comfortable with your keybinds and to make a conscious effort. Unless you make a conscious effort to not look at your keyboard and start playing like that for as long as you can, you're not going to develop the muscle memory you need to not look down at your keys at all. You really need to like be able to be comfortable enough with your main skills that you do not have to look down at your keyboard at all, and you're mainly just using your consciousness to focus on cooldowns and your enemy's cooldowns. No, so we got free action potion, limited invulnerability potion. Is there another consumable that comes to mind that you're prioritizing to keep in your inventory? Again, guys, we have limited gold, we have limited time to farm it, so you're only going to have you're gonna have to make some choices on what you decide to, you know, keep in your inventory. What else is going to be very important for you, both in a pre-made and out in the open world?
I mean, if you don't have any gold issues, you could take the restorative potion with you. I don't know how useful it is for other classes, but as a rogue, I mean, it dispels magic effect every 5 seconds and it is active for 30 seconds. So you get some dispels of yourself. So you can do that while you have like fairy fire on you. You can do it if you have like hunter's mark or like dots from a warlock or shadow priest to survive in any situations. But it's really situational.
Polymorph as well, right?
Yeah, if you pre-pop it, polymorph, nova, stuff like every magic effect basically. And I mean, it's a curse magic effect, and I don't know.
So explain, why would you want to use a restorative potion over a free action potion with regard to polymorph, or is it mainly for the curse, poison, and disease effects?
I mean, it ticks, you know, like a totem, right?
But you would just be totally immune, right, with free action potion up?
Free action potion doesn't prevent you from getting sheep. Yeah. It only prevents you from getting stunned or slowed. So gotcha. Sheep, they could just keep sheep on until it's DR'd and waste like half or even more time of your active fab while you're sitting in sheep. So they can just prevent you half of the duration. If you pop a restorative potion, if you don't have anything else, like skull or something, then you would get sheeped, but like 1, 2, 3 seconds after that, it would dispel you.
So between skull and restorative potion, you can keep yourself sheep immune or sheep resistant for quite some time. Then 30 seconds plus 10, 40 seconds.
Yeah, every 5 seconds it ticks in this 30-second duration. Yeah.
I see.
And you don't get any damage on yourself. Skull always damages you. It drains mana. If you're a mana class, that is something you should consider. If you play a mage, for example, like when I ranked my mage 213, I always timed my ice barrier with the Skull of Impending Doom, because sometimes it ticks so high, and especially at the beginning of a progression server, your HP pool is so low that it really can hurt you or nearly kill you.
I see.
At that point. But it's still so worth just doing it that you could time it. If you pop your ice barrier, for example, if you're a frost mage, if you pop your ice barrier and you want to time it like that if you run in if you come in as a flag carrier mage into the enemy base, you want to have like 10 seconds left on your ice barrier, because you will have the next ice barrier off cooldown, and the one you have active is still running with like full absorption of the damage, and then you want to activate Skull, that your old ice barrier is eating the damage that Skull is doing to you, and that you can pop the new ice barrier while it's either still running or you getting damage from the rogue who's there. So you have basically the double ice barrier absorb damage active.
I see.
So it's just a little cooldown management.
Is it realistic to keep all these in your inventory? Like, are these super expensive, or are you making sure to keep these on you all the time? And how important is major health potion too? Like Taka said, just the straight flat healing.
Yeah, maybe Taka, you explain the health potions.
What, the price, or what did you say?
Yeah, everything around, like how expensive and how much better they are to combat potions, for example.
I mean, it's, again, situational, right? So if you the thing is like, if you're fighting or expecting mages, the thing is that you can you can pre-pop a frost protection potion or whatever, and it'll stay there for 1 hour or 60 minutes. So that means that after 2 minutes you can use another potion. So shit like that is kind of nice. And also you have all these smaller potions that are pretty cheap on the auction house, so you don't need to use greater whatever potion. You can buy the normal potions, but it'll reduce a lot still. and also just stacking up on those things when you're leveling. For free action potions, people might be selling that on the auction house for very low prices just because they're trying to make gold while leveling. So stacking up on everything, because FAPs are going to be really expensive once people start ranking. And the same with the swiftness potions. I know a lot of mages use swiftness potions very much in world PvP situations, and they're really useful. And just kind of thinking ahead, right? So yeah, I try to keep everything, at least one item that can save my life from every class. Right? Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it. One item to keep you alive from every class. I love that. That's really good. Ooh, $2 donation from Sam Witzel, showing my support. Yo, thank you so much, Sam. Thank you for your support, brother. I appreciate it, man.
And Sam, if you want, you can probably hit Sorrana up for some private tutoring in German.
I don't know, man.
Yeah. I love swiftness potions though, Taka. Like I've been saying, especially when it comes to leveling, guys. Oh man, does it save you so much, man. Like swiftness potions, really, like you have such limited options on the table when you're leveling. You don't have access to all these crazy things. So something as cheap as a swiftness potion that you pick up for a couple silver off the auction house can save you a long corpse run back, and your ego will stay intact. So definitely pick up.
It's a big plus. Big plus that they are so cheap. Because restorative potion, they use you need elemental earth, and elemental earth is just skyrocketing in price for that reason. So hard to get.
Yeah, makes sense.
Same with free action potions. They are so expensive before the fish pools are spawning. So prior 1.9 patch, they are kind of expensive because you have to solo fish them. It's hard to get.
Makes sense. Is Skull the same thing for you, Taka? As a warrior, do you ride around with Skull in your offhand, or?
I mean, I'd say I want to say yes, I do, but I don't. Yeah. It's like when you're leveling as a warrior, that quest chain is like, I want to kill myself,
Yeah.
I don't think that's worth for warriors, right? Because you have the 30-second on use cooldown when you swap it to your offhand, and like MS warrior always uses two-hand. So, I mean, you don't want to run with one hand and wait 30 seconds until your skull is active, just right. In case. Yeah. So I don't think it's for warriors.
So a lot of this stuff is class specific. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Now. So is this about it as far as the key items? Is there anything else that comes to mind that maybe, is there anything we're missing that's not potions that's good to have, or is it just like marginal benefit type stuff? This stuff all seems pretty
Rocket helmet is big. Like last PvP workshops we were talking about engineering items, right. And like I think we all concluded that rocket helm is the #1 of those items, even though it has 30 minutes cooldown. It's such a game changer because it just gives you an additional 10-second in cap on your enemy. When you can do whatever you want. I mean, it breaks on damage, of course, so it's not immune against skull, for example. But it's such a game changer if you need time to get away, if you need another CC on your target, whatever. It's
so even for you as a rogue, would you put that above skull, or for class specific rogue, do you still think skull would be more useful?
I always use it when I have it off cooldown as well, just like the skull. But since skull also only has like 5-minute cooldown, I wouldn't say it's above skull. Skull is most important, and after that maybe.
Are you using this stuff? Nice. Is this mainly stuff that you're using out in world PvP to have options against people that jump you, or are you actually using each one of these things while ranking at a high level? Are you making sure to equip Goblin Rocket Helm, make sure you get value out of that cooldown every 30 minutes while you're ranking?
Yeah. I mean, what helps you in world PvP to buy time helps you in Battlegrounds as well, and makes even more impact. Well, buying time in Battlegrounds is always really nice. So, let's say you are the last guy connecting to the druid. You have been waiting for him in his base. and everyone else is just getting peeled in mid, and you have the opportunity to rocket helm that guy and buy 10 to 15 seconds for your team to close the gap. That's so huge. So it can be like a playmaker.
I see.
But I mean, yeah, it's worth the 30-minute cooldown. So I always use it if it's off cooldown.
So it seems like someone made a good point in the chat too. Where do grenades fall into this priority system? Are they not as priority as the potions? It seems like the potions might have more long-standing impact than the grenades.
Yeah, but I think grenades, that is more like an item you use in your setup. I wouldn't even rate it as a key item. It is so normal to use them every time you can use them that I wouldn't say it's a special thing anymore. It's just, it's a must-have. You have to use them every time. So
I see. That's a great point. So that's the type of thing that you don't even mention. It's like table stakes. Like everyone is just expected to use grenades on cooldown. To the point where you don't even mention it. And they're used complementary to potions because they don't share that cooldown. It's its own separate thing. But the grenades do have their own internal cooldown amongst grenades, right? So is there any variation as far as what grenades you use for a certain situation, or is just whatever your bankroll is going to permit, use the highest damage or stun?
If you only want the stun, the cheapest you can get is the iron grenades. They are usable on while you move, and fairly cheap. It does a little bit of damage to interrupt stuff if it doesn't stun or stuff like that. You can, if you're rich as fuck, you can use thorium grenades. They do exactly the same things that iron grenades do as well, but deal more damage.
Do you save a couple thorium grenades for that one dude that you have a rivalry with out in the open world? So if you cross paths with him, you can
I don't know. Personally, I don't use grenades to deal damage. So if I want to do that, I would use a sapper charge because it does fairly more damage and it's on the same cooldown. So I would use a sapper charge in case of killing someone with damage like that. Yeah, I just use it for stun and interrupts.
I see, stuns and interrupts. So are you at a high level sustainably using irons, or are you using the tier above that?
Iron grenades.
Okay.
Yep.
Iron's great. Great. That is awesome. And you
mentioned sapper charges. Yep.
You mentioned just, like X Factor shit, like you were talking about the sleeping dust, jungle remedies. That stuff falls into its own fucking category.
That's those niche things. Yeah, I mean, you could use poison resistance potion as a caster or like a mage or a druid. It gives you so much poison resistance that rogues will freak out every time.
There was a mage on Astarius who used Flask of the Titans when he was ranking.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, if you're one of those troll mages that get every Lotus from the AV weekends, then you can do that.
That's funny, dude. Well, he's a mage. He can afford it, dude. He's a fucking mage.
Yeah.
That's the good life.
Yeah, so things like that, jungle remedy and so on. Sleeping dust. I mean, magic dust is, if you're alliance, it's really easy to get, especially in between queues. You just, if you queue from Stormwind, you just have Westfall, like a, it's Westfall, and I don't know, the respawn time is 15 minutes, I think, without dynamic respawn of those dust devils, and you have like 2, 4, 6, I think 6 running around in Westfall, and they have like drop chance of 60% or something like that. Yeah, so you will get nearly every time you kill one, you will get a sleeping dust, and it's really nice for AB games. Yep.
Yeah. So and what does it do again?
It sleeps your target for 30 seconds, I think the cooldown says, and in PvP it extends the 10 seconds limitation.
Okay. It extends it as in it gives you the full 30 seconds, or it goes to 10 seconds?
It's random. It gives you the full 10 seconds every time, I think, and after that it's random whenever it breaks. But it ensures you a safe cap from a base.
And it's like a hibernate. It breaks on damage and everything like that.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Cool. Now, just to enforce, okay. Well, I don't want to like skew it in any direction, but how important are these consumables? Let's say you're going up against another rogue or something of equal skill level, and you're going up against him, and you don't have access to these. How is that going to go?
So if you are in a rogue duel and you don't have the Skull of Impending Doom, for example, what you do is cheap shot, sinister strike, or like backstab, and then you go into kidney shot. That's your just your stun rotation, and then you want to give him a bleed to gain some distance, but you won't have enough energy to give him the bleed and gain enough distance to not be blinded. So what every rogue does when he's sitting in stun lock is hammering the button for blind on the other rogue. So if you don't want to waste a vanish or something like that after your stun lock combo, you just preemptively use the skull when your kidney shot is running out, because he will either gouge or blind you, and that's a wasted cooldown of him, and you will get out pretty easily. And because you have a bleed on him, you can use the speed bonus of the Impending Doom to gain some distance and re-stealth, while he's still sitting on the bleed and cannot really re-stealth. I mean, you can give him the opportunity to re-stealth, but the next tick will just get him out, and you have a free opener again. That's how you can control a rogue duel, for example. And if you're like a class like a druid, I think having free action potions while you play Warsong is just a must-have. If you cannot afford it, don't worry just ask your team. I mean, your team is relying on you to get that flag, so they can even help you out with those consumables. It's just fair play.
But the consumables are a big deal, right? I mean, without some of this stuff, it's you're at a big disadvantage, or do you still think there's different ways you could play it? Okay.
You cripple yourself, basically. You can do it somehow with a lot more effort, maybe. Sometimes you cannot do it and you have to wait it out. It makes your life a lot easier.
I mean, I would say a pre-made versus pre-made situation, or even one versus one situation. The person using consumables should always end on top, you know. And I think the more you are in a group, the bigger you will dominate using consumables and, you know, engineering and whatever. I mean, you can basically go in like this big huddle, fucking popping sappers, and just everyone dies, right? I mean, it's insane, right?
So that happens during the pre-mades, even at a high level? Like you all just plan?
I mean, I haven't really, you know, gotten wrecked like that, or, I mean, the other pre-mades we faced were, you know, pretty good, and I mean, smart usage of, you know, there's a lot of people using when you hit the, you know, the big battles, they're popping limited invulnerability potions and stuff like that. There's you know, pretty predictable, and sappers, I don't know, it's yeah. But I mean, you just keep away from each other so they can't kind of, you know, kill 10 people at the same time. But yeah, so you just have to just be smart, right?
Yep.
But, yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But
so we will open it up to any of your questions now, guys. If you guys have any questions directed specifically to Takanashi or Sorrana, any rogue or warrior related questions or hunter related questions for me, definitely throw them in there.
I saw a guy asking about who is or you know, our opinion on who is the strongest healer in vanilla PvP.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You have an opinion on that?
I mean, it's interesting because you see it as a hunter, Sorrana see it as a rogue, and I see it as a warrior. So I mean, we could potentially have different views on strong healers, right?
From my perspective, it's Paladin, dude. Oh, it's so strong, man. I don't know.
Yeah, it depends on the situation, right? I mean, it's if Paladin is so nice if you level with him to heal. It's a very strong single target healer. But I think Priest has the toolkit of a Priest is so nice. I mean, if you have a good Paladin, there's nearly no way you can CC him with like the sacrifice stuff, and yeah. So that's a big plus. But I mean, Priest can be played offensive. I feel like Paladin is always in defense. He always has to be in the back line and control with his sacrifice and stuff, that he doesn't get CC'd and stuff. While Priest can just go offensive, dispelling, mana burning, fearing, yeah, whatever. I mean, Fear Bomb is such a big playmaker when your flag carry is getting zerged in the midfield, and you try to support him, but you can't rescue him because you don't have enough mana to heal him up or whatever. So you have to pass the flag, and you can time it with the Fear Bomb. So if you have a warrior or a priest going into the flag carry that is dying, and counting down on Discord, on one you Fear Bomb, and the flag carrier just drops the flag while someone else picking it up. There's nearly nothing the enemy team can do, because they are so much they're putting all their resources in zerging your low flag carry that they won't expect any fear. So yeah, that's a big thing, yeah. And then you're safe. You just have another flag carry at 100%, while your old flag carry is still dying, can come back from the respawn with full HP, and you just do the same thing again. Because Priest feels like, what, 20 seconds, 30 seconds cooldown?
How do you guys feel as Alliance about Resto Shamans, from your perspective? Do they intimidate you? Are they food?
I fucking hate them.
You hate them?
But do you see... you won't see pure Resto Shamans in Battlegrounds,
okay.
I think.
So it's always going to be some kind of hybrid, elemental spec?
Yeah, so they have nature swiftness with them to give the big crit heal out, and after that, I mean, they are bound to hard casting, and you can kind of control them. I mean, they have some totems and stuff, but if they have to predict that you will kick them, they will have to fake cast and put the totem down, and that's crucial time where they cannot heal. So I think Shaman healers are nothing to consider. So as Horde, you relying on your priest.
I see.
And I mean, and I would really agree with Sorrana regarding the strongest healer being potentially the priest. But I feel playing a priest for, I don't know, is it 5-6 years, and especially playing a priest whole vanilla, I know I don't even have to think about how I'm gonna kill a priest. I just know what he's gonna do, and I see if he's saving whatever, and I can just pre-pop fear immunity and whatever, and I feel like priests are really easy for me to kill unless I have shit gear, because it's hard to break. Yeah, it's hard to break through that shield. It's really annoying. You don't get any rage. But,
what about Shadow Priests? How do you do versus them? They're considered good duelers in a 1v1 environment.
Yeah, I'm not gonna try to kill them. I'm just gonna run the opposite direction. yeah.
I love that answer, dude. That's hilarious.
Improve hamstring and then see ya.
Yeah,
see you later, kid.
Yeah, but someone asked what meal prep are we doing while leveling in Classic. So yeah, I mean, maybe you guys can answer that as well. Sorrana is big on diets and he's working out.
Strictly insect protein isolate, dude. That's it. That's all we do.
Yeah.
I'm not doing any heavy muscle stuff like you do.
We're gonna try to make real contribute to the community and put some videos out there and just talking about meal prepping and keeping your body in shape for the PvP grind as well. So yeah.
What food should you eat for maximum PvP efficiency?
Yeah, you should eat shit that burns and just burns your throat. So you're always fucking angry and screaming and just wanted to kill everything in front of you.
I want to know though. So you're about to queue up right now against our pre-mates, you and Sorrana, and you have a meal. You can choose a meal to give you max performance. What are you guys gonna choose before going into that pre-mate?
Sorrana, go.
I like noodles.
What
like
the
noodles?
fuck kind of answer is that?
Well, like a bowl of pho? Some fucking ramen?
You could choose anything in the whole world and you said noodles.
What kind of
Yeah,
noodles?
I mean-
he could be redeeming though. What kind of noodles?
We
Let's
just
hear 'em out.
lost.
Cops.
We,
Cops.
we just lost 1,000 viewers. What the fuck happened?
A nice warm bowl of soup is very hearty, dude. It touches your soul deep down, dude. It makes you feel warm inside, I have to say.
I mean, look at the chat. They understand. Daniel understands. Like, you don't have to do anything to get noodles ready, right? You put the water up. You play a battleground. You go back, put the noodles in. You play a battleground. You come back, eat it, play a battleground. So easy.
Oh my god. What kind of noodles are they eating over in Germany, dude? I'm curious.
What is it? I don't know. Spaghetti, macaronis.
Oh, okay, so
Uh,
like some pasta. Alright, some pasta.
Yeah,
pasta.
pasta. Yeah.
Okay,
That's
steak and
considered as
potatoes.
noodles.
That's an American answer, Doc, and fuck yeah. What about you, Taco?
Yeah.
You have what if you had? Let's say you didn't have to prepare it though, Sorrana. Let's say you could just like Gordon Ramsay standing right next to you. He's like, "What's up, mate? I'll fucking cook you up whatever you want for your next BG." What is it? Still noodles?
Nah, I mean, I don't know. It's as a German, I have to say Schnitzel, right?
Ooh, I love it, dude. Good answer. Fuck yeah. That's awesome, man. Best big brain foods, man. What about you, Taka? Max
Yeah,
performance.
I would go with the big ass fucking juicy steak, baby. You know, you can see that butter just fucking floating on top of it with some sweet potatoes
Ugh.
and some sick ass fucking asparagus
Ugh.
and some salt you sprinkle on top. And I would just, you guys, Sorrana be like, yo, Taka, you know, the BG started. I'll be like, I'll be right there.
Oh, dude, I'm hungry now. I might be with you
I'm
though.
anchoring stables this game, right? I'm anchoring stables.
He could actually
I-
eat it, dude. He'd just be chilling. He'd just be chilling. Yeah, I might agree with you though, dude. I might go steak frite. You know steak frite? You got the little French fries in the nice steak cooked with some mushroom sauce and then fucking some French fries, man. Then a little souffle after. That'd be it, dude. That'd be my last meal. Mm.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy my girlfriend a cookbook for
Classic WoW cookbook. Cereal.
How's the game going, honey?
100
Back to the
variations of
kitchen.
cereal.
yeah 275 cooking.
Lunchables.
Yeah.
That's funny, man.
Vegetables.
I would eat a large, extra spicy steak burrito. Fuck yeah, Matt Varela.
But I
That's what I'm
mean,
talking about.
on a serious note, I would try to make those amazing kind of stews. You know, cooking a big bowl, just smelling it for hours and hours with potatoes and paprika and some nice meat and just it's easy to cook. You can only you run to the kitchen every 5 or 10 minutes. You stir the pot, and it's kind of cooking itself, right? And you can enjoy the flavors after 4 or 5 hours, and you can just take a bowl out and heat it in the microwave. And as the days passes, it gets more juicy and juicy.
That sounds like a good strat. For me, I love my rice, dude. I might make it if we were actually serious about it. I might cook up a big bowl of chili, like just a big ass bowl in a cauldron. The beginning of the week, and then just keep
Like
a
a
rice
cauldron.
cooker just stacked up with that with that sushi rice, and then just scoop up a couple rice and then some chili. Boom, rank 14, easy clap. That's it. Hot pockets.
What does that mean? The real question is, how do you beat the singularity?
Yes, that's the real question at the end of the day.
I don't understand the question. I'm not a
That's all right, man. That's all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've been streaming for 2 hours and 13 minutes. So the show is 2 hours long. So we're gonna close it out here. But you can expect us back next week. Really sincerely appreciate your time today. Please, if you haven't done so already, please follow Sorrana and Takanashi on Twitch and YouTube. Takanashi's stream is twitch.tv/the Takanashi. He is the only one. The Takanashi, one word. And then Sorrana's is twitch.tv/Sorrana199. Is it Sorrana?
Yes. Exactly.
199. So
No.
And are you going to stream after this? You want me to host you on this one, or are you?
Yeah, little 30 minutes just after. If there are any questions that couldn't be answered here, I will do a little 30-minute stream just to answer if there's any more.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So Pawn, yeah, you can go over to Sorrana's stream after this, and he can summarize some of the essentials. But again, we just talked about retail PvP versus classic PvP. Talked about some of the balance in classic PvP. We didn't actually talk about how to cap honor. We can save that until next week. Common mistakes, key items and consumables, and that's pretty much it, man. But we will be uploading all of these. So sorry I've been slacking on that. It just takes it's just pretty annoying to do that, but we really should get them all up. And thank you very much for your time, guys. Really had a lot of fun with this one. It's a pleasure as always. So I will see you on Thursday with our podcast, Good Morning Azeroth, and we're signing out for now, guys. Have a good one. Take care.